So this is Wendy Siskin. She is the program director for a nonprofit called Wellness in the Schools.
Yes.
And the whole point of this organization, so wonderful, it's to help kids build good habits when it comes to eating and when it comes to fitness. How did you and I have talked all morning and you seem so passionate about this. How did you get involved in wellness for kids specifically?
Oh, well, I was a child athlete my whole life. And, I also had a mother that was on the Board of Education my whole life. And, being an athlete and being involved in sports and seeing how it's guided my life and the healthy choices and just knowing what nutrition is and knowing how to feed myself to perform better, it was so innate in me that when my mom, was telling me that, PE has been cut due to budget cuts all over the country, I just really started to invest my whole career in getting into schools to help raise awareness and educate the importance of healthy decisions for your body. And then that's what kind of guided me into this path.
There's so much information out there that tells you that kids need exercise, obviously, but that they perform better academically. It seems so counterintuitive to cut physical fitness and recess time down when they need to move to perform well academically. What does Wellness in the Schools do to get kids moving?
Well, we have overall wellness programs. So we really go into a school looking at the entire school culture. Schools come to us because they need help. They ask for help, whether their kids just don't understand what healthy food is, they're not getting their kids moving, they're having a hard time scheduling recess altogether, not really putting importance on the benefit of it. So we go into these schools, we work with their food programming, we work with school food, and we work with the menus that they have at lunch. We give cooking classes to have kids understand what that food is, how to make that food, give them recipes to take home. And for fitness, we really look at recess, because a lot of schools, common sense, right? We should have playtime.
Recess, right?
A lot of schools, have trouble really figuring that system out. So we go in there, we reinvent the recess experience, all the social issues and the socially daunting experiences that kids experience at recess. We go in there and we not just model, we place coaches and chefs in the schools to reprogram the culture, but we don't just model it. We teach the schools how to implement these systems and sustain these systems. We create student leaders. We get these kids moving and understand the importance of it in the classroom and recess and physical education. Yeah,
our own Dean Cheramay is partners with Wellness in the Schools about
Dean.
food.
Woo-hoo!
Rocco DeSpirito, Charles Chen, good friends of the show who are also involved with the program. I feel like it's got to be very empowering for kids to get this. I mean, school is all about getting information, right? It's all about learning how the world works and what you ought to be doing. But this element of it, you go to math, you learn math. You go to reading, you learn reading. You go to the cafeteria and you get, I'm sorry, but you get some horrible food. Like, you just get really horrible food. So to have an organization that's in there teaching them not only what to eat, but how to make it as well. Do you find that some of the kids take these recipes, the things that they learn, and the physical fitness that they're learning, do they take it home with them?
That is the ultimate goal. Regardless of what's happening at home, we all say it starts at home, but a lot of times that's not the case. And so schools are, we have a captive audience. They're there all day, every day, and it's the place where kids spend the most of their time. So what better place to really incorporate habits, not just lessons, not just what they learn in the classroom with math and English, but how are they living their life? What tools are they getting to make wiser decisions, whether it's food or fitness? How are we empowering them to guide their lives? Because really, if we don't teach them these habits are experiences, they're opportunities. If they're not getting these opportunities, you rely on what's familiar. And we all know how easy it is to get stuck with what's familiar, whether good or bad. So we want to give them something familiar that is healthy, that feeds their soul, that feeds their mind, that allows them to focus and learn better and live better in school and outside of school.
I love that. You also have a program that brings the families in, after you've worked with the kids for a while, that then brings the families in and lets them have fitness together. Tell me about that, and what do you think is the benefit of then integrating the parents into what the kids are learning?
Well, you always say here, what Daily Burn, what a family that sweats together stays together.
A family that sweats together gets together,
Really, that's it. I mean, so many of the schools that we serve, the families initially are not involved with what's really going on in school or what's really going on in their kids' lives, unfortunately. And we want to change that. We want to get them involved, and we want to have parents and the siblings and the families playing together. Play with your children. I mean, it makes such a difference when you could just move and feel the benefits together, and that's how traditions start, that's how habits start, and that's how lifestyles shift.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's the family habit of we all sit around and watch TV and eat chips,
right?
And then there's the family habit of we run outside and we play together, and both of them are quality family time, but one of them leads to a quality result,
right?
It leads to longevity, it leads to happiness, it leads to wellness. So I think the habit of how you spend your family time is another really important one to look at, yeah?
It is everything. I mean, what you learn in school, what you experience as building your own self-confidence, all the insecurities that come along with growing up, as we all know. I mean, when you feel better about yourself internally, when you're feeding yourself food that helps you think, when you're feeding yourself fuel that helps you move, and you are moving, you innately are feeling better about yourself, and you're handling life obstacles better. And those things don't just stay in school. Those things take you throughout life.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big picture, if we feel like we're a microscope right now zoomed in on habits and eating and fitness, if you zoom that microscope way back and you take the macro view, I think you realize that when you love yourself and you feel good about yourself and you know that you're physically fit and you know that you're moving and you have confidence, you make better choices. And man, if you can get your kids to make better choices, that's a win. That's just the biggest win there is, because there will come a day and a time when they've got to make a hard choice and you will not be there to make it for them. Right. So this is actually part of that raising of your children and of the people that you love, is to help them feel good enough about themselves to make a hard choice, you know, when that hard choice is the right thing. Do you have a success story or anything? I mean, I know you serve a lot of underprivileged communities. You serve a lot of communities that don't have a lot of financial resources. Have you seen any changes that make you go, oh, this is it. This is why I do what I do?
Yes. I mean, there's so many. And this is the part that always gets me weepy, so bear with me if I have a hard time telling this story. One thing that always comes to mind, it was just so powerful. I was working in a school, one of our underprivileged schools, and I was working with the coach alongside there one day, and just spent a lot of time coaching, co-coaching, and experiencing the kids. And that was it. A few days had passed, and I was walking through the same area from another school, and I was walking down the street, but I was also wearing a coach shirt, and our coach shirts say, "Let kids play. Just be free, let kids play." And so it's very recognizable. So I'm walking through this neighborhood, and I happened to be passing by this housing project. And I was noticing it was so gorgeous out, and the contrast was so significant. It was just this unbelievable day. I'm walking through, and I'm noticing that this gorgeous day, but outside this housing project was just such a negative energy, and there were people outside, there was a lot of foul language, there was a lot of people smoking, there were people sitting around, there's a beautiful day, nobody's active, and there's just no positive anything going on at this time. And I'm noticing this contrast, and I'm walking, and it's unfortunate, but I'm enjoying the day, and out comes this little boy, running through the toxicity, and he runs and he runs. I don't know who this boy is, but he's like, "Coach, coach, coach." And I'm looking at his face, and he looks familiar, and he sees my coach shirt, so I'm thinking he thinks I don't know. And but he's like, "Coach, coach, I saw you at my school the other day. I was just inside practicing what Coach Rob was showing us, and I'm getting really good. Can I show you?" And first of all, I was surprised by the whole interaction and how unbelievable that this little boy with this bright, shiny white smile, bright light of energy and enthusiasm, and practicing by himself in this toxic environment lessons that the coach from his school taught him, and he was perfecting it. And he's smiling. I have tears running down my face. I was like, "Yes, yes, please show me." And it was that story that just I walked away from with a huge smile on my face, tears running down my face, going back to my office to share that this is why we do what we do. It makes such it makes such a difference and we give opportunities to those who really just don't have basic opportunities. And even if you do have opportunities, there's still lessons that everybody can take, but even more so, making a change and guiding lives that wouldn't necessarily go in that direction.
I love it. I love it. Wendy, thank you so much for talking to us and for working out.
Thank you for having me.
All the great work
I'm
you're doing.
exhausted.
By the way, Wellness in the Schools is a national organization. If you're interested, maybe they can do something great at your school or a school that you know about in your area. Go to wellnessintheschools.org. Fantastic organization.